Have you ever had a day where you said yes to everything? Yes to the meeting. Yes to the extra task. Yes to the text. Yes to the plan. And then at the end of the day, you realize you feel less joy. Like you did everything right. You were helpful, you were reliable, and somehow you're depleted and maybe even a little resentful. If that's you, I want you to know you're not broken and you're not alone. What you're experiencing is something I call boundary drift. It's that slow leak where your time and your energy and your emotional capacity get used up in tiny ways all day long. Today's workshop is for busy mid-career professionals, that go-to person at work, the default planner at home, those that are carrying the mental and emotional cost of being the dependable one. So by the end of this video, I hope that you'll have a clear definition of what boundaries actually are, a quick self-check to spot where your boundaries are leaking, and 5 practical boundary practices you can start this week. And as a bonus, a few simple phrases you can borrow so you don't have to figure it out in the moment. Stay with me because the biggest shift for most high performers isn't willpower. It's knowing where your energy is leaking so you can stop fixing the wrong problem. Also, throughout this video, I'll pause for reflections and ask you to think about it. If you want this to actually change, don't just listen to me today. Answer the reflection questions, either out loud, in your head, or write them down. In a few minutes, I'm going to give you one simple sentence you can use in a meeting or over message that protects your time without sounding harsh. So keep listening. First, we're going to start with a quick reset because a lot of people think that boundaries are harsh. Boundaries are clear limits that protect your time, your energy, and your emotional capacity. They help you to stay generous without becoming resentful. Boundaries are not meant to be a punishment or a wall or a sign that you don't care about someone. They are a form of respect, a way to keep relationships sustainable, and a strategy for long-term well-being. Here's the key. Boundaries aren't about controlling other people. They're about being clear on what's sustainable for you and communicating that clearly to other people. Quick reflection. When you hear the word boundaries, what emotion shows up for you first? Is it relief, fear, guilt, irritation? Just notice how it feels. Now that we're clear about what boundaries are, let's talk about how they quietly slip, especially in environments that reward responsiveness. Boundary, boundary drift usually doesn't look like chaos. It often looks like being fine while you quietly feel more and more depleted. It's when work creeps into your evenings because you can respond. It's when you keep an eye on messages after hours, just in case. It's when you say yes reflexively because you're trying to just keep the peace, to be helpful, or to avoid disappointing someone. And over time, the cost of these boundary drifts shows up as resentment, irritability, numbness, feeling disconnected, and just that sense of I'm doing so much, so why do I feel so empty? As a coach and as someone who used to live with this pattern and sometimes still struggles, I'll clearly say this. Resentment is often a boundary signal. It's your system telling you that you need a limit. Boundaries are not a nice to have thing. They're a health and performance issue. And after this, I'll share a few phrases, including one that helps you push back on last minute requests without over explaining. But first, let's do a quick self check. I'm going to read a few signs. Don't overthink this, just notice what hits. These first ones are going to pertain to work, or maybe in a professional setting. Do you respond to messages after hours because you feel like you should? Do you say yes in meetings and regret it immediately after? Do you take on extra tasks because it's faster than delegating and then feel resentment? Do you over-explain your decisions to avoid disappointing people? Do you feel responsible for other people's emotions, stress, or deadlines? Do you feel productive but never actually caught up? Many workplaces reward responsiveness and reliability, so it's easy for availability to become the default. Now I want you to think about home. Do you manage everyone's schedules, needs, and reminders and feel like you always have to be on? Do you say yes to plans when you're already running on fumes? Do you keep the peace by staying quiet and then feel disconnected and unseen? Do you get snappy or numb because you've hit your limit? Do you feel guilty when resting, even when your body is begging for it? Do you feel like other people's urgency runs your life? This is one of the hardest parts. You can love your people deeply and still need limits. Which area is louder for you right now? Is it that creeping responsibility from work or the mental load that you carry at home? And what's the first place you feel it in your body? Do you feel it in your tight chest, clenched jaw, maybe a headache, heavy fatigue, like you just want to go lay down? If you want to pinpoint what's draining your joy most, you can also take my free Happiness Thief self-assessment. I've put the link in the description for you, so you can check it out after this video. Now, let's get practical. You don't need a full life overhaul. Small boundary practices can create real relief. So I have 5 that you can start this week. I'm going to ask you to pick one to start practicing today. Practice 1, the pause and decide rule. This is about breaking that reflex to answer immediately. Pausing gives you a moment to check your capacity instead of defaulting to people pleasing. Some things you can try. Let me check my schedule and I'll get back to you. Need a little time to think about that. If you tend to say yes on the spot, this one practice can change so much. Notice where you auto commit the fastest. Is it in emails, meetings, family requests, social plans? Practice 2, create one non-negotiable transition. Without a transition, your brain stays in problem-solving mode from work, and home never gets to feel like it's rest. Pick one small ritual that tells your nervous system, work is done. Some examples could be a 5-minute walk, changing clothes, a playlist for that drive home, or writing down tomorrow's top 3 tasks before you close your laptop at work. Small is fine. The goal is consistency here, not perfection. Practice 3, use a clean and kind boundary script. Stop over-explaining. Most over-explaining is really about managing someone else's reaction. Some things you can try. I can't take that on right now. That doesn't work for me. I'm not available, but I hope it goes well. Kind and clear beats vague and resentful. Some scripts you could borrow for work. I can take this on next week, but I can't add it to today. What do you want me to deprioritize so I can make room for this? I'm offline after 6 p.m. I'll reply tomorrow. Some scripts you can use for home. I love you and I'm not available for that tonight. I can help in 10 minutes, then I need a rest. Not making decisions right now. Ask me after dinner. Practice 4, do a resentment audit. Resentment is often the emotional receipt for overextending. So ask yourself, where am I saying yes when I actually mean no? What am I doing that I wish someone else would own? What am I afraid will happen if I set a limit? Then choose one small boundary to reduce that resentment by just 10%. If you could reclaim just 10% of your energy this week, what would you do with it? Could you rest? Get some movement in? Make time for connection? Maybe some creativity? Or maybe some quiet? Practice 5. Decide what you're available for before people ask. This is a proactive boundary. Instead of negotiating in the moment when guilt is so very loud, you decide ahead of time what you can realistically sustain. Some examples might be, I don't do meetings before 10 a.m. I respond to emails twice a day. Weeknights are for family and rest. Even one decision like this can reduce decision fatigue and makes your yes feel more honest when you give it. Okay, let's bring this home. If you're the dependable one, boundaries can feel unsafe at first, not because anything's wrong with you, but because systems around you often reward overfunctioning. Some messages people absorb are being easygoing keeps me connected. Being needed keeps me valuable. Saying no makes me selfish. But boundaries don't make you less caring. They make your care sustainable. What's one boundary you're willing to practice this week? Just one. And what's the exact sentence you're going to say to help that boundary stay in place? If you want clarity on what's draining your joy the most, you can take my free Happiness Thief self-assessment. The link is in the description. And if this video helped, stay connected with me. Subscribe for more mini workshops like this. Share this video with a friend that might need to hear this message. And drop a comment with one boundary you're practicing this week. I read all of the comments, and it helps you to stay accountable. Thanks for being here and taking your joy seriously today.